Hey guys, so this is Sunday, Easter. I'm here to record just another quick post. This time, I'm not in a rush. And I got you. There you go, in that direction. Supposed to be the opposite. I don't know. That is the legendary Oni Diego, the Demon Diego side. But I'm transforming the demon side into the good side. As you can see, this is my study of Diego's face. And what I simply did was I tried to find the features that makes him the essence of Diego, so that I can actually imprint that in the 3D. Previously, I actually had another form, which was this one, and then that form particularly is what I was going for as Oni Diego, because it's this extremely simplified pixel character. And yes, why am I doing this in the first place? Well, this guy is one of my best gamer buddies online on Twitter, and I want to put him into the story I want to tell, a video game story. So this is my belief. My belief is that if you put things, it's like the dream board. You put pictures exactly where you wish to go to, right? Or who to meet, or stuff like that. Plain and simply, my dream to successfully realize these things is to meet up with my Twitter buddies. I already did once with Tyel, right? She was awesome, and I met her in 4th of July, just unexpectedly, out of nowhere. She came from New York, just to chill on 4th of July in Boston, you know? I'm thinking New York is the best place to celebrate 4th of July, but I guess she's very more, in scale wise, is more comfortable here in Boston to do so. It's fine, matter of preference. But see, that's the thing. I was surprised, and I was like, you know what? Take advantage now she's in town, and meet her up. And then I met, and then we hang out. And it was awesome. And I was just thinking to myself, if that's possible with one person, it's possible with many others. And Diego is the next guy who I really want to meet up with. He lives in Midwest, Texas and all that stuff, all over there. But no problem. I was in Texas before. It's also possible. I've been I've not been everywhere in the United States yet, but I've flown different states, which I'm kind of proud of to do so. So it doesn't mean that the possibilities is impossible or anything like that. Certain people are just limited to exactly what they see before them, the wall, the room. So creatively, I'm constructing a story based on my friends that I met online and that I met in life, and part of it are going to be in the game. And so this kind of branches out on the properties, and this is why I call it, well, the actual project name is Project James GX, and Project Dreams GX is just, that's the code name. It's simply what I've been working on since 2007. which is Tribus Fabula. Tribus Fabula in Latin. I'm trying to like my brother, who's a Latin genius, Latin language genius. I ask him exactly how can I grammatically put the meaning of the title correctly in Latin, and you know it's been always a question mark. That's why I tentatively codename it as Project GX, Dreams GX. So when it comes down to Tribus Fabula is what it means is tribal fable or tribal legends, and so I wanted to create a like you can say it's an umbrella for other universes to kind of like mix up and cross, because I wanted to be the initial, you know, point of genesis of many different worlds combined into one umbrella, which is Tribus Fabula, that synergetically connect dynamically with the Dark Zeta universe. But Tribus Fabula will be the actual point where I create other stories that are gonna match, that are gonna go with it. And so, in that description, I bring in my friends, you know, and they all have powers. They all have their own stories, their own backgrounds. It's kind of like a comic book. Marvel Universe is what I compare it to. So it's like a mix between the Marvel Universe and the Doctor Who universe, you know, since I'm using myself as a what's that word, like a conduit, or like a thing where, you know, you help out the audience to kind of like a gimmick. Like I am this like iconic gimmick where you just, with this particular character, you go to the many worlds to meet up with these many other characters, you know, cross between other characters that do have their own backstory and stuff like that. And since I went to the Art Institute, and I took the storyboarding class, which I failed horribly, I did take a lot of these elements and actually written it down. Like everything in the class, I wrote it down. It's just a matter of teacher having to be a complete dick. But I have this, which is my idea journal that I write everything down, and I then look at it, and then I plan out the execution of such things. And part of it is my universe for Dark Zeta and then Tribus Fabula since 2008, 2009, and I've been, you know, working on reinventing these things in that time zone. Tribus Fabula was just regularly, before I called it Tribus Fabula, I just called it Mario Legend Story. And then because Mario Legend was my tag, you know, here on YouTube and on AIM. Yeah, that was my, when I was growing up, I was literally like using Mario Legend as my username and stuff. So then I switched it up to Gerardolegend so that a lot of people know that who was the real deal. It's me, Gerardolegend, you know, but not synonymous, you know, not connected to music. It's more visuals. While John Legend is a musical genius, and it's completely separate, not relative to that. Legend from Mario Legend came about to mix with The Legend of Zelda and Super Mario together, you know, mashed in one tag, since I really like both series and stuff. Very, very simple. And I took that username long ago, like back in 1998, not even like 1997, 1998, used that username long ago on the internet, when I was growing up. So from there on, you know, I was like thinking to myself, like, I need to find something else that kind of evolve, but then at the same time, since I'm a Gemini, I might as well just have these two characters actually be two splits of my personality, So I have like two different persons that are actually mean psychologically different definitions, and that is very like dynamic, makes things more fresh with that aspect. Since it's a even tribus, which is, you know, means like three. Um, it's it's something that I wanted to create, like a three thing going with it. Like for instance, the Legend of Zelda has Triforce. You know, it's very Masonic as well. You know, esoteric a little bit. When it comes down to details like that, like sacred geometry and all that stuff, which I actually integrate into the story. And why? Because it's just like you have to find some kind of like substance. It's no like when it comes down to narrative, you'll see it, and everything is just more depth, more it's layered, you know, just endlessly layered with many things that are going on with the story, so that you can actually be more interested and much more lively. It just feels more full instead of just shallow than not. That's why I've been working on it forever now. And same thing with Dark Zeta. I'm even thinking about renaming the whole series again. And so it just like I just feel like that Tribus Fabula, that particular thing, I wanted to integrate all my experiences together, put everybody that I met, whatever, it has a Buddhist feel to it as well, when it comes down to like, this is a story of this particular character and there's an end to it, you know, and it comes into a new story. If you've ever watched Doctor Who, it is very like that. Or if you ever watched, you know, The Walking Dead, you have a particular character that you like, and all of a sudden, you know, that particular character comes to an end, a demise, or something happens to the character, and then you just kind of be like, oh, it's so sad because they left the story or the world in its entirety. And it's just the nature of it, you know, just trying to come about with different points, and I have like over 30 characters that I need to introduce into the story. So there's a lot of things going on. So I've been studying up on the game approach or interactive approach to this, and in particularly the approach of it is like for instance, Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger is the most. I get inspired by Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana, you know, the Seiken Densetsu series, and Final Fantasy. And Final Fantasy, like Final Fantasy 6 is the example of story is literally focused on each individual character. You know, that is, even the Saga series just took that element and just went madness into it. It just went to the other extreme. It doesn't have the same balance. Even though the Game Boy games actually were really cool, it just doesn't have that balance that I had. Oh, happy Easter! That it was, you know, kind of like, that's the thing that I need to, like, you know, sort of have, is that balance in between how I integrate the characters, how charming they are to the audience, to the player, and then be able to actually communicate exactly what's up with them, and, you know, make them likable as much as possibly can. So Diego has some kind of charm and characteristics already in here that I want to integrate, and I want to, like, you know, give him a dynamic feel to him, and having to create the Oni, because what happened is that there are two sides to each individual character's features. So for instance, like Diego has like you know, his demon side, where it's more like he has like arrow powers, you know, the arrow, like, you know, the green arrow. And then since he loves the Legend of Zelda as well, I'm giving him like other abilities that you would expect that Link would have, like just sort of like different, you know, make it different and unique. And so like I mean, I integrated a lot of the cool stuff that's going on. So let's see if I can let me put this out. So proportionately, I'm trying to fix it so that the hands and not the hands, but the arms are not that lengthy like before. Also, because this is like, I worked on this in June of last year for the Omni version of Diego. Why haven't I finished it? It's a lot. It's work. You know, I don't have funds to pay my bills. I need to pay my bills, but I would love to just focus on this forever. You know, and I need to find another, like, I need to find another job that gives me a part-time and not full-time, because I just want to really focus on this and not on the other stuff, because it's all about, you know, for me it's trying to realize a dream, so it takes a long time to do this stuff. 30 characters to build is just madness. And I already told everybody, it's 1 character per month that I have the for some reason I have that thing going about, and it's not supposed to be like that, and it's worse now since they got me working full-time and I need to work tomorrow at 7 in the morning, and I just feel like, you know, a depression coming on, because at the same time I want to be social, but at the same time I just want to, like, you know, go ballistic and just finish up on the things that I started. And I have 3 other characters to build on the Dark Zeta side. So the reason why I even have multiple projects, for all those that don't find the reason why, is because, think of it like this. If you're thinking about one thought for like 10 years, you just concentrate on one thought for 10 years. Ignore that. Hold on to that thought for 10 years. I'm just telling you right now, like, as a process for creation. That anybody would go insane about that. So what happened is that what I do is I write it down, process, and since I am somebody who is constantly coming up with new things, my therapy is put it down on paper, shelve it, and just keep processing these things. Then when I literally get fatigued, because any creator does, and anybody who draws, anybody who actually were working on the project for like more than 9 months know this. You have to work on something else. You have to freshen yourself up with some new style, something new. Like, for instance, I worked on the DarkZeta.com demo game that you can go right now online and experience and download and play on Firefox, not on Chrome. Chrome sucks when it comes down to HTML5 games. Pixels, and I was just working on pixels for 3 years straight, and even to make the demo, it was insane. I was just like, once I got the like literally a demonstration prototype of the game done with on my birthday of 2013, I was done. It was over. I was just like, it's over. I don't even want to do pixels anymore, because then I started picking up on ZBrush, and I started picking up on Mudbox, and I started making 3D stuff, which feels much more refreshing for me to do, but it takes so fucking long to make something, because it is a learning process first, and at the same time it's the steps to get to the point where I got it with with Jetty. Let me give you that example right now on Sketchfab real quick. Let's see if I can open that up. Alright. So let me show you over here. So you see, to do that takes 8 hours a day. Process, it's like I need to do each individual component separately. How did I combine, Jetty, the brother of Dark Alpha, with the plane? Well, very simple. I have I pretty much made first the character, added the details, added the actual, it's pretty in each individual. I handle it individually, each element or each thing that you see. So for instance, like this character separately from the plane altogether. I then combine it all into one file, and since I already rigged the actual characters to pose him into a seating position that you see right here, is easier when it comes down to that. It's much more straightforward. But before I got to this point, I had to model out the plane in literally a blueprint of the plane, simplify the features as much as I can so that I don't have to deal with high detail stuff, because the more detail you add to the actual character or whatever, the more you have to deal with the thought about trying to realistically make it expressive. So like for instance, a regular human being that you see on Assassin's Creed, you have to think about the different actual, the cloth of the actual character. You have to think about how the cloth actually moves with the physics. You have to find out what's happening in the engine on that at the end of the pipeline, of course. But even then, you have to think about futuristically when you're writing down and conceptually creating these things. And because you have to think about it, you just have to think about it, like how is the final product gonna look like, and it's always changing all the time. And having getting to that process from just a simple drawing, like literally, like I just I drew up Jetty simply on paper, like okay, so he's just gonna look like this, right? But I already know simply how to expressively give him the look and feel to what he's gonna have already, and it's all good and dandy. Like even then, the hat actually took me forever to do when it comes down to UVing it, but I'm actually happy with the results, because I'm telling you, it takes forever. And I just wish I had help. I really wish I had like a second person to help me out with these things. Because two heads actually work better. It's like having a multi-core computer system. It's way better to have somebody to literally like check you on what you're doing. And the process of these things go a lot faster when somebody's literally like being a foreman, like a a senior art director. It's just somebody that understands your process. They'll be able to come in and help. That's all there is to it. And I love it. I love this stuff though. I want to do this forever. Like today, it literally, like, since I had lack of sleep last week, I had to take 10 hours of sleep because I didn't have any sleep like yesterday or the day before. Even though I had it off on Thursday, I finally was like, yes. But then, you know how you got that lethargic or that feeling where you just don't want to do anything. You're just trying to literally soak up whatever energy that left your body. And then for me, for some strange reason, I get creative after 10:30. After the time exactly when I'm trying to literally go to sleep, I just cannot at all sleep, because my creative juices just start flowing, and I just cannot, just cannot take a break after 10:30, and I just need to work on these things. And if you're not an artist, you don't understand these things, it's fine. Certain people actually write their best stuff at night, and I guess maybe it's all about when you finally soak up so much sun, you finally meditate in the day, you're nice and clean, and you're ready. You take in a nice shower, and you just like ready, right? All of a sudden it just like dawns on you, just hammers you, like you're like, oh snap, I gotta do something with this. And you just write your ass off. And that's what happens to me the other day when I went to sleep like at 2 in the morning, like at or 1:40 or something like that. I only had like 3 hours of sleep to go to work in the morning at 7 a.m. And I even asked for them to change it. They didn't change it. They did not change it. They did not adhere to my petition. And I'm kind of pissed off about that, because creatively I am exhausted. Like physically I'm exhausted on a conflict. So it's the job and this is now conflicting. And I even told my brother who works with me that I might try to find something else, because it's just not, for me, it's not working out. It's just like not working out. I so give mad respects to people who actually work at the grocery store, because there's a lot to deal with, and then I give so much respect to a lot of people who work at fast food restaurants like Sonic and all that stuff, because it's just a lot of bullshit that you have to deal with just to get that income that you really need to survive. And it's unfortunate the way the industry is with people when it comes down to work. Ideally I would just like to work half the time, and then I just want to focus on my arts, creatively develop the things I need to develop, and then go out and physically get what I need to get. Because on the good side, no, I need to go to physically do something, go out, go work, because I cannot succeed at just holding up one thing or the other. So for instance, if I go to the grocery store at least 3 times in a week, I'm good. That's perfect. That's beautiful. That is my ideal circumstance, having to do that. But I cannot. It seems like, I ask, and it seems like it's an impossibility, and I'm like, oh, it's an impossibility. Then I have to find something else, So that's why I'm like, how is it an impossibility? Why isn't that a real choice? Now they actually have, 3 new people they can cover me, you know. So I'm like, it's just all these things, man, all these variables. And the inconsistency is killing me as well. Like, I like to be consistent. This is like, why isn't it consistent? Why don't I just give people consistent, you know, times to do these things correctly, you know? If you're gonna do mornings, do mornings. For me, they literally have me do at an afternoon on a Tuesday, and then a morning on a Wednesday, like back to back. And you know, I did that for like a month and 2 weeks, and I just I just can't do it anymore. So creatively, I have these things going about. Like, for instance, my awesome buddy, Twitter buddy, Sai, I made this for her birthday last year, and this is based off her drawing style, because it's very cute. I love her drawing style. So that's why I was like, let me just make something like that, pixelize it, and then happy B-day, you know, birthday cake and stuff, and like, you know, present it to her live. You can actually see it, you can rotate it, you know, zoom in and out, and voila. So for her, particularly in 3D, which I'm going to create her in 3D, I was thinking about maybe if I can integrate that look into it in 3D. But see, that's what happened to this approach right here, where I tried, but I got caught up with the 3D. So even though it looks really nice, I mean, don't get me wrong, it looks nice, it's just that I need to I still need to work on proportions. So I can just simply like extend his legs instead of just you know, shorten his arms and just extend his legs, you know. So like particularly like the head, right? So I count head count. That's what you do when you're creating, conceptualizing. And I love to gray box. That's the thing about me. I gray box these things. So literally I would sculpt it out to see exactly how it looks like, and then I can draw it out too. No problem. I can draw it out to actually have better proportions or whatever. But I just like having it somewhat, you know, literally somebody automatically telling me exactly the scale of these things. So head count will be like, let me see, like 1, 2, is it 1, 2, and then 3, and then 4. So he's 4 heads long. That's why I want to keep it 4 heads. And so if I extend his legs, then he's not going to be a 4 heads anymore. It's going to be 5. It's going to be 4.5 or 5. So that's why the arms got to go back in somehow. Let's see. Yeah, it goes like, there you go. It goes like right after his knees if I bend his arm. And previously, before, like in July, like in the summer of last year, I was just for some reason I was just giving all my characters this gorilla design without even measuring proportions or anything like that. I just was having fun doing it. I was not even thinking about proportions. But now today, since I want to be on point with my audience, I want to be on point with everybody, and even then, I was trying to learn how to use ZBrush as well last year and the year before. Since this is all self-taught, ZBrush is literally self-taught. Like, I started using ZBrush when I was in school, but exactly November of 2011. Was it? No, not November of 2010. November 2010. Really different year. November 2010 is when I said, when I dropped out of college. And exactly that same time, I was taking a course with a really tough teacher. He's notoriously tough because he wants to burn the 11 weeks into your brain, like literally, like carve the lessons into your brain, and that scared me because then I was taking anthropology, and then I was taking like other writing stuff, and anthropology, and what was the other one? History? I forgot. This business so long ago. And what happened was that I was really bothered emotionally about what my friend passed away of a car accident, drinking driving. Boyfriend literally crashed into a tree, and when that happened, she got projected out. She was still alive and conscious when she literally got ejected out of the vehicle. And so the terrible part was the car, because of the force hitting the tree, and she still, she dropped first on the floor when she got ejected. The car didn't just yet do that. So all at the same time, the car rolled over her outside, sort of just rolled onto her, and that's when she died. So that kind of gory thing that happened, that was all about, for me, I was in California when that happened, and that happened here in Massachusetts, and I was like literally in shock when I heard about that, because I was just like, no, she's not dead. That's impossible. And then when I came back home and I saw the tombstone, then that like hit me hard. But I was so I was rattled by that, and then on top of that, my dad fell off from hiking at a pathway in nearby in the park. It's like this rough path, and then he was hiking and stuff, and he just fell. Later do I know he actually had like a stroke because of that. Not because of that, like he had a stroke and he fell. That's what caused his fall. And so I was just like, what the fuck is happening in Massachusetts? Why? What the fuck? And so was it? No, it was not 2010. It was 2011. It was 2011. 2010 was completely separate. Yeah, it's right after the hospital that I went to the hospital and had the surgery. Yeah, I'm mixing up years now. Okay, 2011, November 2011. That's when I gave up school, and I was just an emotional wreck. I couldn't concentrate. I couldn't do anything. I just couldn't do anything. I was literally like, like my breath I just couldn't handle it. I just really needed time to like breathe, and it was just way too intense. So I just dropped out, and then I focused. Later on, I started doing my work, and I literally focused so hard on creating Dark Zeta, and I literally had like my friend. This is why I keep putting my friends in. I literally had Diana, as a home, like a tribute to her in the game. She's in the game. Like, it's not just her, but it's literally a place. I named a place after her. there's a story inside the game, the HTML5 game. And if you can find it, it's in there. It's buried in there. You know, that's the thing about my HTML5 game. It's not just a Flappy Birds or a Pac-Man or anything like that. The rabbit hole goes so deep. It has layers. You have to bypass that from the actual gameplay aspects. Because I was literally trying to mimic Nintendo, old school, 8-bit, how things used to be, kind of style with it. Now, gameplay wise, I'm focused now on today, you know, responsiveness of the controls, and because I just don't want to, you know, I just wanted to make just one game that resembles the past, but now I want to be in the present, but I'm still giving tribute to my friend who passed away in 2011, and I give tribute to all those people that believe in me, and like Diego, he believes in me and stuff. So like Sai, Anna, you know, Blue Swim, you know, and Tael, my Twitter. Those are my Twitter buddies. You know, Janine, Laura, you know, my brother Fleming, and you know, my family, and all these people, man. I just like that's why I created Tribus Fabula, and that's the reason why I have that I'm doing this stuff. And so like even Ray's in it, Fran, she's in there, Franny friend. Where is it? Like Fran, she's very she's an awesome person. She really helped me out a lot in different circumstances. Everybody has their story. That's why I like, you know, to represent what's going on. That's why I have that. So, you know, I got a whole list already checked out. Bethy's in there. Jonathan's in there. My bro Glenn, Glenn Miles, and Glenn Canales. Both Glens are in there. Yes, both Glens are in. Of course, Fernando is in there. Brandon Shorter's in there. Russell, of course, Russell's in there. Russell is gonna be an awesome ninja. You'll see when I get to him. And you know, there's just all kinds of beautiful things that I'm actually trying to get to with all these characters and stuff. And why haven't I even fixed on the game? I actually did. Every single day I do either art, then I do the programming thing. Like on Wednesdays, I just pick up the programming part and just learn how to use the tools that I got. And I shortcut my way through. I literally use the asset store stuff because I'm just a designer. I'm not a hardcore programmer. And so I will use other engines that I can depend on that actually have things and more updated. And this one particular engine, the Orc engine, magnifique, and that the actual person who made it is constantly updating it, you know, and it's constantly making it better. And you can directly talk to this person in the forum, and they come up and they give you all the answers you need. And I highly recommend that RPG engine, that framework. And it's pretty much turned Unity into an RPG maker, a 3D RPG maker that I always dreamed about using. I wish I was 16 so I can, you know, but I'm not. 34, going to 35 soon. And you know, I got I got a lot of work ahead of me, and I just hope the physical stuff doesn't hold me up. I'm not telling you, my ego is strong. Like subconsciously, it can get pissed. It can't suppress it anymore, and will go auto mode on me if I don't act soon, which I will. It's just that everybody has a ticking time bomb, and if you're not aware of it, you probably might snap to it, you know. So I'm trying to accommodate things as much as I can, and you know, to work things out, and you know, so it just, I hope that I can, you know, get all these things out of the way, you know, all the things that are bugging me in my creative flow, and you know, things will be fine, because that's the only thing I'm asking. I'm not asking for, like, I'm not a greedy person on the aspect of like work. I'm literally asking the bosses, like, yo, just reduce my hours. Like I don't know, I would think maybe that will be a good thing. Certain people would say, give me more hours, you know, whatever, and then to accommodate the work. I'm a person that really needs to focus on the prime objective, which is my dream, realizing it into a reality, executing it. And you can see this is not only exclusively my dream, it's everybody else's dream, man. So thank you for listening to me, and hopefully I'll post some more stuff later. Catch you on the flip side.